MindShifter Audio Blog, a place for your mind to grow.
What you survived wasn't meant just for you. Hearing how you blossomed can cause someone else to grow their own garden. And before you dismiss that as nice sentiment, let me ask you something. How many times have you stayed silent about what you've been through because you thought it wasn't big enough to matter? How many times have you minimized your struggle because someone else had it worse? That silence, it might be costing someone their life. Here's the lie most of us believe. Our story only matters if it's extraordinary. If we didn't hit rock bottom hard enough, lose everything dramatically enough, or overcome something spectacular enough, then what we went through isn't worth sharing. We think we need credentials to speak, a platform, a certain level of struggle that qualifies us to help someone else. That's wrong. The truth is, the most powerful stories aren't the most dramatic ones. They're the most relatable ones. Let me tell you about two neighbors. One is drowning in depression but hiding behind, "I'm fine." The other went through the same thing 2 years ago, but never mentioned it because they thought, everyone deals with this. It's not that serious. Other people have real problems. One day, they're talking over the fence. Something small comes up about feeling tired all the time, not wanting to get out of bed. The second neighbor casually mentions, "Yeah, I went through that. Turned out it was depression. Getting help changed everything for me." That's it. No TED Talk, no dramatic testimony, just one human being honest about something they went through. And for the first neighbor, that casual conversation becomes the permission they needed to stop pretending and get help. Because if someone they know, someone regular, someone who seems fine now went through it, maybe they're not broken. Maybe there's hope. That's the power of the story you think doesn't matter. Here's what we don't talk about enough. Isolation is the miracle grow of mental health struggles. When you're depressed, anxious, or thinking about ending your life, there's a jerk inside your head telling you lies. It tells you you're the only one, that you're weak for struggling, that everyone else has it figured out, that your pain isn't valid because others have it worse. And when no one around you is talking about their struggles, your brain uses that silence as proof. See, no one else is dealing with this. It really is just you. You really are broken. That's how isolation kills. Not through loneliness alone, but through the lie that you're alone in what you're feeling. And every time you stay silent about what you survived because you think it's not significant enough, you're accidentally feeding that lie for someone else. You don't need to have been at the absolute bottom to help someone. You don't need to have the most dramatic recovery story. You don't need to have conquered the worst version of the problem. You need to be relatable. The person struggling with anxiety doesn't need to hear from someone who had a complete nervous breakdown and rebuilt their entire life. They need to hear from someone who also couldn't sleep at night, who also felt their chest tighten in meetings, who also thought they were losing their mind. The entrepreneur who's failing doesn't need to hear about someone who lost millions and started over. They need to hear from someone who also wondered if they were cut out for this, who also had months where they couldn't make payroll, who also cried in their car. Relation is the level, not depth of the problem. Your ordinary struggle reaches ordinary people, and ordinary people are the ones dying quietly because they don't think their pain qualifies as real enough to get out. I'll tell you something personal. As an entrepreneur, I used to think I was failing, that everyone else had it together and I was uniquely struggling. The doubt, the fear, the wondering if I was good enough, the days I wanted to quit. Then I started hearing other entrepreneurs share their real experiences. Not the highlight reel, the actual struggle. And you know what I realized? My experiences were normal, average even. That realization gave me legs, not because my problems went away, but because I stopped adding to the weight of, I must be uniquely broken, on top of everything else. I stopped wasting energy wondering what was wrong with me and started using that energy to actually build. Someone else's honesty about their ordinary struggle gave me permission to keep going. Your honesty could do the same for someone else. Here's what stops most people. They think sharing their story means getting on a stage, writing a book, or posting on social media for the world to see. It doesn't. Sometimes sharing your story looks like being honest with your neighbor over coffee, mentioning to a coworker that you've been there too, telling your friend you understand because you went through it. The conversation that saves someone's life often happens in ordinary places, between ordinary people about ordinary struggles. You don't need a platform. Please stop hiding behind the belief that your experience doesn't count. I know what you're thinking, but my depression wasn't as bad as someone who was hospitalized. My financial struggle wasn't as severe as someone who lost everything. My relationship issues aren't as dramatic as someone who went through abuse. Stop. Stop comparing your struggle to someone else's and using that comparison to disqualify yourself from speaking. Someone out there is dealing with exactly your level of struggle. They need to hear from someone who gets it at that level. Not someone who went through something more extreme, not someone who had it easier, someone who gets it at their level. That someone is you. And by staying silent because you think your story isn't dramatic enough, you're leaving them alone in their struggle. Every person who hears how you blossomed gets to see that growth is possible, that healing happens, that you can come out the other side. Your garden, the one you grew from your pain, your struggle, your ordinary human experience, gives someone else permission to start planting their own. Not because your garden is perfect, not because it's the biggest or the most impressive, because it's real, because it's proof that seeds can grow even after hard seasons. When you share your story, you do something powerful. You normalize struggle. You take what lives in darkness and shame and bring it to the light where it loses its power. You become the voice that says, you're not alone, you're not broken. This is survivable. And for someone who's been drowning in silence, that voice can be the difference between giving up and holding on one more day. So here's what I need you to do. Stop waiting for your story to be worthy before you share it. Stop thinking you need a platform, credentials, or a more dramatic struggle to help someone. Your ordinary experience is someone else's lifeline. Think about what you've survived. The depression you don't talk about, the anxiety you've learned to manage, the financial rock bottom you climbed out of, the relationship you had to leave, the addiction you overcame, the failure that almost broke you. Someone around you right now is going through that same thing, and they're suffering in silence because they think they're the only one. Your honesty could save them. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to post on social media. You don't have to get on stage. Just be willing to say, I've been there too, when the moment comes. Don't let your story die with you. Stop protecting people from your truth because you think it's not significant enough. What you survived wasn't meant just for you. It was meant to light the way for someone else walking in the same path in the dark. Share your garden. Let people see how you grew. Give them permission to believe they can grow too. Because the story you think doesn't matter, it might be the only thing standing between someone and their decision to give up. Your story isn't just yours. It's someone else's stepping stone. Share it.
The MindShifter Audio Blog, a place for your mind.